What's up guys, usually when I do these operator masteries I try to pick the easier operators to get, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to go with Pulse. Pulse is one of the not new friendly operator, as he doesn't really have a specific role. You could use him as plant denial, roaming, anchoring, whatever you want to do. Pulse can fit your needs. It just takes some skill to get used to the scan, and we're going to go over everything we usually go over. As long as along with that, I'm going to put you guys into a game situation and just give you guys some ideas on how in-game could work, because I feel like that's the best way to really showcase what Pulse is really all about. So I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to give you the best loadouts, best everything about that, but then we're going to hop into a game, because I feel like with a operator this complex, you need to learn how to do it in a in-game situation. Pulse at one point was so overpowered because the scan was so, you could get off of it so fast, pull up to a shotgun or a C4 and instantly kill them, but now they've made the pull down time a little slower. They've changed a few things. They made it toggle. They changed a lot about Pulse's utility, but that does not mean it's still just as good, just as not overpowered. So since we're switching up the order this time, and I'm going to switch with how to play, we're going to go straight into the best weapons to use. So he has the UMP-45, which is a slower fire rate, lower damage type submachine gun, but still can do the work, and it's not absolutely terrible. It's just a little underpowered. And then the M1014 shotgun, which is of course just a shotgun, so you have to be really close. So that's the downfall, and it's also very situational with this operator. For secondary weapons, you have the M45 and the 5.7 handguns. Both of them can be good. Obviously, the 5.7 kind of has more bullets. It's 20 capacity, while the M45 is 7, but it is stronger. Usually, I want to go with the stronger one, but the 5.7 has better iron sight, so you pick which one you want to do. But for me, I think I would go with the 5.7 here, just because I like the iron sights better with the little green slot that it has in its irons. And for the primary, it's very situational. If I'm trying to do like runouts or something, the UMP-45 is the move. And for more beginner players, that would be more friendly for you at first, since it's a pretty low recoil. It just doesn't do a lot of fire damage. And then the M1014, that is a really good shotgun, but it is very close range, and you need to be positioned correctly for that. So I'll show you both ways. I think this one's either it's a toss-up no matter what. Only thing I would recommend is go holographic sight on your UMP-45 if you do rock the submachine gun. Other than that, the attachments are your choice, but I'll show you mine as well. As for your universal gadget, you need to go with the nitro cell here. It's so useful with Pulse, since you get to see through the walls, basically is what you get out of the Pulse gadget. So a nitro cell is much better than a barbed wire. Always go nitro cell with Pulse. It's just the better move, and I'll show you why, of course, once we get into the game. The only downfall to Pulse is you need to know what you're doing somewhat. Not entirely. I mean, in low ranks, if you know what you're doing with Pulse, you will shoot right up the ranks, and that's really a #1 tip. Just pick operators that actually can really make a difference in a round, besides just your fragging capability and gun skill. So if you're a lower rank player and don't have the best gun skill, operators like Pulse can really be beneficial, because you have the advantage 100% when using Pulse. But another problem is it's a active utility. So if you are dead, Pulse has absolutely no benefit to your team, unless if you actually got a kill, but that's still, you're dead, your utility's gone, unlike most operators that have cameras or something like that. All you have is your Pulse ability for the scanner. So now on to the utility, right? The Pulse, it has a portable radar basically, which can get heart rates. The heartbeat sensor can get people within 9 meters, so that's a pretty decent range, honestly. And it can go through surfaces, of course. That is the real benefit. It gives so much intel, and if you have communication plus Pulse, that is a win-win. You could call out ping for your team with your yellow marker and basically know where they're pushing from no matter what. Alongside of that, you can use it as plant denial or just entry denial with a C4 or below them. Either of those will work for you. And the size of the heartbeat overall is the sensor for how close they truly are to you, and I'll show you that. But basically, all we need to know is we need the right positioning, and now I feel like it's a good time to go into game and give you guys real in-depth information on how to use Pulse in a real game situation. So Clubhouse is one of my favorite maps to do Pulse on, and that's what I'm going to show you, because I really enjoy Clubhouse. Just in general, it's one of my favorite maps. So I think as a Pulse player, right, I'm going to switch this holo. I always just do holo now. I want to keep consistency throughout the entire game, and then I go angled, of course, as we saw earlier, which is just my loadout. So let's hop into Church and Arsenal Room, since that is what I'm going to go off of. Obviously, you guys probably know where I'm going with this. So after your pre-round phase, getting blue walls, church walls, whatever, as everyone should, always remember this hatch, of course, and moto hatch. Blue hatch is less important if you can only get 2, if you are the one reinforcing, but you just have to know where stuff is, right? So above this, basic quiz, right? What is above this? Just think to yourself, comment it right now. This is kitchen, okay? I had to expose myself. I'm gonna show you guys exactly where stuff is, just so you get an idea. This whole floor is breakable. So an idea, in all reality, you could rock a shotgun pulse, and do that, but the pull down time is now longer than it used to be, so they can move at any time, of course. But just remember, this is all shootable. You know, this is the hallway. So this is the kitchen entrance. People like to enter through here. Sometimes a Habana, go through here, and then, you know, try to get this. So they stand still a lot in here. They might even drone in here. So one thing you could do, pre-place your C4 right here. I could shoot through it. I should have brought the shotgun in this case just to demonstrate, but this is the entry. So anything along these lines is a great place to pre-place a C4. And you could also just hold on to the C4 since it does, you know, make that sound, so they'll probably hear it, but there's a lot of sound here, so who knows. Then another place to come in is, of course, here, and this is one's harder to breach if they just like Habana and then jump out. I see that sometimes, but still, you should still be a-okay to go here. So I'm just gonna reinforce this just to get a perfect idea of what we are looking at. So we just have to know where stuff is. So going into a custom match like this, just knowing where this the stuff is, shooting through, go through maps and just see where this stuff is. Obviously, it's not hard whenever you have a hatch to determine it, and a simple map like this. So it's just one way to do it. This is a more anchoring style pulse, so just keep that in mind. So once you're down here, just remember this can be any site on any map. Just be aware of the map. Obviously, right, like this whole floor is breachable, so that's a big deal in this site, and it could be used to your advantage. Usually vertical play is used a lot to attacker's advantage, like a sledge or a buck will be here, but instead of that, why can't you just, you know, pre-place your C4 and hold this? Obviously the hole wouldn't be there, that hole, and just hold it. Or you can at least see them coming towards you, right? You'll see the dot get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you hear footsteps, and you pull out, and then whoop, do that action. And then you get a free kill. It's a free entry kill. You're up by 1 kill already. And even if you don't get them completely, you have a lot more intel now. And you could stay down here and play the hatch. And obviously, if you have communication, you could have someone with an impact grenade here, an impact trick here. So yeah, that is roaming or anchoring pulse. Now I want to show you some ideas on runouts and such. This operator is probably the only operator I would rank higher, I think. Well, maybe not higher, but at the equal level as a Valkyrie. But this takes less skill as Valkyrie, I think so. But I'll give you guys Valkyrie Spots. That's coming this weekend. If you guys want to see Valkyrie Spots, I'm going to go over a mastery with her and then Valkyrie Spots. So this is just an example of one window on one map. So just remember to bring this over. Just think critically, learn the map so you know where people spawn. So a spawn on this map that a lot of people like to spawn at, there's the main gate and out here. So people like to spawn, and it's right behind that barrel, and they usually rush around this way, go through garage sometimes, or go through the window. Then of course you gotta worry about people coming through there. So this is just a quick run out for most things, and then this can also be used whenever you're guarding cache and server room. So if you do this, they're gonna try to thermite this, so they have to rappel up here. Oh, I'm out of ammo. That's interesting. So when they're trying to rappel up here, if you have 2 pre-placed or pre-knifes, right, you're allowed to vault out, like without having to hit anything, so they won't hear it. So if you do this pre-match, shoot or knife those 2, right, and hold your pulse here, you just have to know where you're running out of. People like to rappel right around here, and someone will try to probably pull up on you right here. And the nice thing about this if they flank you, it's kind of hard to flank, right? Your teammate's probably holding top garage, especially if you're in cache. There should be someone sitting up here in the catwalk, so there's not going to be someone that runs this way and there. The only real threat you have is people coming through here and here as your flanks. For the most part, though, you're going to be focused here, and you have a easy getaway right here, just jumping down and going back to site, or just wrap around the map if the site's up there. So there's two ways there. Now, once you have this, right, you say you see some dots up there by the hole, you know, run out and just know where you're running out. People like to rappel up here and head glitch this, so just know that, and you have to just predict where they're going to be. Obviously, you get this little circle, so you should know exactly where they are. But once you get one and maybe two, like say two people are here and you go pow pow and shoot them both, don't be greedy. You always have a whole other part of the round to live for, and now they're going to be on edge. They are going to be sitting claymores everywhere, and that's one thing you need to watch out for as a pulse run out person, is claymores. So if you're sitting here the whole round, though, you're going to hear the claymore get set, most likely. You should hear the little and that's just basic game sense, and you should be able to hear it. Another place they like to repel here is there. People like to head glitch around the corner here, like up here. So, you know, you just got to look around with your pulse scan. It'll reach this high. Like if you're in here and it go like that, it'll reach there. So just know that. And just remember, it really is just all about your creativity, and you have C4. So say the whole team is up there. There's a Thatcher, Habana, and a Thermite. What are they going to do if you go boop, pull a C4, throw it up there, detect and blow it up, right? What are they going to do? They're going to sit there and watch that claymore or a C4 blow up them, and you might get a 1 kill, might get 2 kills, but that's one way to go about it. You don't have to be super aggro on the pullout here, because once you make the sound of jumping out the window, everyone's going to instantly flick to you, but you just have to have that instinct to shoot them and just get back inside. That's really all I can tell you about run out pulse. Now there's one more type of pulse that I can go with here, and it is roaming pulse. So what does that imply? Well, obviously roaming. I mean, that could be considered roaming. It's running out, so it just depends on what you do after that. Roaming is more like a whole round thing. So in this sense, right, let's pretend like it's downstairs again. You could always play above, right? You have the pulse scan. You could see kitchen from above, and you have control now, right? And if you bring a shotgun up here, you could pre-place holes, and if you pre-place holes about here, I think this is the door to kitchen, and if you want a longer angle, right here would be good. Pre-round, of course, if you have a teammate with like an impact grenade, you could do that and then hold with your UMP after you scan them, and that is more of a roaming pulse. Just know, like maps like this and a lot of maps in this game promote really creative people. So if you're able to just know that this leads to the door, right, the kitchen door, if you see it, you see it, you know. This, if you broke this, there would be a beam here and the door would be right about there. It's a long angle, but you could easily hold it, especially if you know when they are coming through with your pulse. So I put pulse and Valk in the same category for how good they are and how successful they can be. So hopefully this kind of showcases what you guys want to see out of Pulse. I think this was the best way to go about explaining Pulse's gadget and utility and ways to play him. He's one of the only operators that you could just completely be a roamer, anchor. That's just one of those universal operators. He's a 3-speed, 1 armor, so he's good at anything really. So hopefully this helped. If you guys enjoyed this in-game tutorial on how to do it, and if you have any questions, let me know. Just remember, this can be used on any map. Just learn spawns, and runouts are so easy with Pulse. Just that one, an example, is so easy with Pulse. I've gotten numerous kills there. It gets harder as you rank up, of course, but you could easily shoot out of, you know, silver, whatever you're stuck in. You could get really high gold with just a simple Pulse main, and that's really important to know. And I only do it on some maps that I'm really confident in, right? Such as Clubhouse. So that's where I'm going to close this out as the round is ending. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next Operator Mastery.